Alright, so this video is going to show you guys how to draw the first drawing in Autodesk Inventor. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Haiku. We're going to go to Unit 5 right here. And once we get to Unit 5, you will see this guy is published. It's called Inventor Drawing 1. And it's a pretty simple drawing. I'm actually going to show you a couple different ways how to draw it. One thing I would suggest doing is either doing a split screen, which you can grab the window up here and then just drag this over here to the right or to the left, and then that will be half of your screen. Okay. The other thing that you're going to need open is Autodesk Inventor, which is this guy right here. So go ahead and double click on that. And usually it takes a little bit of time for this to open. So you have to be a little bit patient while this is opening, because it's a pretty large program. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple basic things. And this should make life easier when you need to draw your other parts in Inventor, because you've never had any experience with this. So I'm going to show you exactly how this works, and we're going to do we're going to do this simple drawing over here. And again, I'll show you a couple different ways that you can do this, because there's a lot of options when you come to these types of CAD programs. So like I said, as you can see, this is taking a little bit of time. I'm actually going to see if I can close out a program and maybe make it go a little bit faster. So we'll see what happens. But we just got to be patient while this opens. And the one thing that you want to be aware of is you want to make sure you are drawing a part file. Okay, Inventor has like 4 environments. You can draw part files. You can assemble parts together in what's called an assembly. You can make drawings. And you can also make what are called presentation files, which are videos. And we'll do all of those things, but right now we're only worried about a part file. Okay, so I want you to click on New. Go ahead and click New. And then we are going to do a standard IPT. That's a part file. So we're going to do a standard one, meaning it's going to be in inches. So I can either just click on that and hit Create, or you can double click on that. Either one works. So I'll go ahead and hit Create. And again, this will take a little bit of time. But that's going to open me a brand new part file, and you'll get to see what Autodesk Inventor looks like. Okay, so this is the spot where I would take this, and I've got Inventor on this side and I've got my drawing on this side, and this is the beauty of having these large monitors. All right, so first thing that we need to do is we need to start a sketch. So you're going to click on Start 2D Sketch and start from there. Okay. All right, sorry, I had to pause. I had a student come in, so we'll get back to this. So again, you're going to hit, I'll just hit Escape real quick to try and get out of this. You're going to hit Start 2D Sketch right here, and up pop 3 planes. Okay, so this is known as the XY plane, also known as the front plane. This is known as the YZ plane, which would be known as the right plane. And this is known as the XZ plane, which would be known as the top plane. So when we look at our part over here, this would be the front view if I was looking at it in this direction. This would be the right view if I was looking at it in this direction, and this would be the top view if I was looking at it in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to draw this from the front view, so that means I'm going to click this plane right here, the XY plane, and I'd like you to do the same. Okay, so now that started a sketch on the XY plane, or the front plane. You can see it says Sketch 1. I've got a whole bunch of sketch tools up here available to me, and I'm going to start out with a rectangle. Okay, and one of the first things that I need to do, I'll just start out with a rectangle, and I'm going to click on the origin. You generally always want to start at the origin. Okay, so I move my mouse around. You notice when I get to the origin, that dot turns green. I click my mouse one time, and I drag this out to create a rectangle. Okay, and so there's my rectangle. All right. I'm still in the rectangle tool, so I'm going to hit Escape. You'll notice that this is still blue or purplish color. Hit Escape, and that goes away, and now I'm out of the rectangle tool. Okay. You do not want to leave this area, leave the sketch, until all of these lines are purple. Okay, these lines are purple right here. This line is green, meaning it can still move. This line is green, meaning it can still move, because I need to put in dimensions. All right. So one of the dimensions I know of the rectangle is the height is 1. So I'm going to click on Smart Dimension, and I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to drag this out, and I click the mouse one time, and up comes a dimension, and that dimension is not 0.19, it should be 1. So I type in 1, and I hit Enter, and that is a much taller rectangle. And now I use my mouse, my wheel, to zoom in and out. I can hold down my wheel. That wheel is a button to pan around like so. Okay, so that is the height of my rectangle. Now all I have to figure out is what is the width of my rectangle. And it doesn't tell me the overall width, so I actually have to figure this out. So from here to here is 1, from here to here is 2, so that's a total of 3. And then from there to there is another 2, so 3 plus 2 is 5. So I'm still on the dimension tool over here. I'm going to click on this line right here, bring that up, and you see that's at 0.5. I need to be at 5, enter. And so my rectangle just got much larger right there. So basically when you're done, you need to have a, and then I have to hit escape to get out of the dimension tool. You see the dimensions tool is still blue. Hit escape. I can bring this guy down so I can see this a little bit better. So basically you're going to end up with a rectangle that is 1 inch tall by 5 inches wide. And when you're done with that, all of my lines are purple. We're good to go, and you're done. Okay, so you can go ahead and hit finish sketch. So there's that. And now we get to the 3D parts. Okay, we are actually going to extrude this a distance of 3 inches. So we're going to use extrude. Okay, this is kind of like the shortcut bar. I always like this guy up here because this is how I learned. This didn't used to be here in the old versions. So I always use this guy up here. But we want to extrude this a distance of 3 inches. Okay, and I want mine to go backwards, meaning I want this to be the front right here. So you can see mine is coming forwards. To change that shape, all I do is click on this right here. Okay, so that will be that. Go ahead and click OK, and you have your first extruded object, your first extruded rectangle. Sorry, another interruption. So anyway, we've got our rectangle here. This is the size of this. It looks like we need to make a cut right here. So you have to find out where you want to make a cut. So I want to make a cut on this front face. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this front face, and I'm going to put a new sketch on that front face. So this guy right here is, this is actually edit sketch. I'm going to create a sketch on that face. A lot of times I don't use these buttons here. I use this up here. So I'm going to start a sketch on that face. So again, select the face, click on start 2D sketch, and now we're making a sketch on this face. Okay, looks like I need to cut something out right here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to make sure I snap to this line, and I'm just going to kind of etch a sketch a rectangle out, and I'll come back in here in just a second and put the dimensions on that. So I'm done with my rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and hit the escape key to get out of my rectangle tool, and now I'm going to come back and dimension this guy. All right, so it's going to need quite a bit of dimensions because it needs to know the size of this rectangle, and it also needs to know the location, like how far over is it from this side, or how far down is it, or how far up is it. So we need the size of the rectangle plus where is this rectangle supposed to be located. Because right now with all these green lines, this thing can be dragged around in all kinds of different directions. All right, so here we go. Dimension. This rectangle is a width of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and dimension this guy a width of 2. So I click here, and that should be 2. And it is a depth of 0.5 if we look over here. So this line right here would be 0.5. Okay, so now it's got size dimensions. Now it needs locations. It looks like it's 1 inch over from this side over here. So I click on this line, and I click on the green line, and I drag up, and that would be a distance of 1 inch. And now it has a location. Okay, everything else is taken care of. All right, so it's purple. That's the color that we're looking for. Once you have it purple, you can go ahead and hit finish sketch. Okay, once we have that, we can go ahead and go to extrude. The only difference this time is instead of, we can choose our profile, which is going to be this guy right here. But the only difference is we're not trying to add material, which is what this one does. We're trying to remove material, which is what this one does. This is called cut. Okay. And it is a distance of 3. Generally what I will do is I will make sure it goes all. In this case 3 and all is the same thing because this is a depth of 3 inches right here. Okay, so I go ahead and hit OK, and that is what my rectangle, or that is what my new part looks like. If I click on the front view, that's what it looks like from the front view. If I click on this corner right here, that's what that looks like in what we call the isometric view. Okay, if you hit, if you're in front view, if you hit the F6 key, the one that has the F and the 6 together, F6, that is the shortcut to make it go isometric. Okay, looks like there's only one other thing that we need to do, and that is to draw the circle right here. So again, I'm going to go on this face, and I'm going to start a new sketch. You can either click on this button right here that says create sketch, or you can click on this button here that says Start 2D Sketch. Okay. Once that happens, I use my wheel to get this in location. I'm going to click on Circle. I'm going to just draw a circle in a random area over here. And again, this circle needs two things. It needs a size, so it needs a diameter, and it needs a location. Where is it? How far is it from this line? How far is it from this line? How far is it from this line? Once you have those two things, this circle should turn purple. So here we go. Dimension. The first thing I'm going to do is figure out the size of this circle. And I'm not sure it tells me the size of this circle. So we will come up with a size for this circle on our own. Let's make this circle a diameter of 1 inch, because it does not give us, or does it? Yeah, it does not give us the size of this circle. Okay, let's see. It's 1 inch from the center, and that's 2 inches. So yeah, this circle is centered, but nowhere does it give us the diameter of this circle. So this is kind of maybe a bad example to use, but it's okay. We'll just use a diameter of 1 inch for the circle, and we'll see how it looks. Okay. One thing that it does tell us is it's 1 inch over from this side right here. So I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to click on the center point of the circle, and that should be 1 inch right there. Okay. And then it's 1.5 inches from the bottom. So I click on this line here, and again I click on the center point of the circle, and that guy is going to be 1.5. So there's our circle right there. 1 inch looks about the right size for what this is, so I think that's probably a pretty good estimation for the size. And again, since it doesn't say, we'll just go with 1 inch. So again, 1 inch diameter, it's 1 inch over from the side, and it's 1.5 inches up from the bottom. It's purple. We're good to go. Finish sketch. And again, we need to extrude cut this. We're going to remove material. So here's extrude, here's cut, and we have to select the profile, and we just need to go all the way through and click OK. And now when I hold down Shift and my wheel, again I'm holding down Shift and my wheel, you can pan around and you can look at this part on all of the different sides. Okay, so I can hit F6, and I want you to save this part as Inventor Drawing 1. So go ahead and go to Save As, and you are going to go to your OneDrive. So here's my OneDrive. Okay, here is my Intro to Design assignments, and I would make a Unit 5 folder if I were you. And in your Unit 5 folder, I would call this Inventor Drawing 1. Since that's what it's called over here on Haiku, that's what I would call this in your folder. You can also notice that I have some folders, like 5.2b is something you're going to do. So you were going to want to have a folder for 5.2b and put all of your 5.2b drawings in the 5.2b folder. This one doesn't need a folder. Just call it Inventor Drawing 1, and you should be good to go. Okay, that's what that guy should look like. All right, so hopefully that helps, and I'll make another video and show you a different way that you can draw this guy as well. All right, we'll see you soon.